The minute it was decided to make biofuel a percentage of every litre of petrol and diesel, the life of a forecourt operator got a lot more difficult. The problems caused by biofuel, disturbed sediment, gelatinous bacteria colonies, and the growth of algae can rapidly clog pump filters and quickly bring a forecourt grinding to a halt. Working together, DP Fuel Tank Services and the RPM Group can get you moving again. Experience in America and Australia, which have had biofuels much longer than the UK, has shown that the best way to avoid biofuel problems is to begin with a clean tank, without any sediment or water, and with a smooth interior that denies algae and bacteria a conducive breeding environment. Working together, we can clean any tank to the highest standard and then line it to ensure a hygienically smooth interior surface, considerably lengthening the interval before there will be a need to clean the tank again. DP Fuel Tank Services has been cleaning tanks for nearly half a century. During that time, it has gained experience on major industrial-sized tanks, domestic tanks, on privately owned fuel sites, and, of course, on forecourts. Depending on the layout of the site, it can clean tanks on one part of the forecourt while the other remains open. Any remaining fuel in the tank is pumped out into a tanker. After temporarily gas-freeing the tanks, its highly trained operatives enter the tank through the manhole. Each person who enters the tank is attached to the tripod winch, wears full personal protection equipment and breathing apparatus. Any remaining sludge is then pumped away, and the interior of the tank is thoroughly cleaned. This simple sounding task takes years of training and experience to achieve in the hazardous environment of a petrol forecourt. RPM is an equally experienced company whose speciality is the lining of tanks, using layers of fiberglass and polymers to effectively create a new plastic tank using the old metal tank as a mould. The work is carried out in several careful stages. The first stage is to abrasive blast, clean and prime the walls of the tank. The second stage is to repair any small holes using water-resistant epoxy filler, fiberglass mat and resin. Depending on the hole, the second larger mat may be put over the first. Larger holes will generally be repaired by bonding on a metal patch. The next stage is to carefully mix to the exact proportions a mixture of filler powder, resin and a catalyst. This is then used to create a base coat, which is troweled on to a thickness of 1 mm. At the next stage, while the base coat is still wet, a fiberglass mat is laid on and impregnated with resin. This is then paddle rolled to remove any trapped air and to push it into the base layer. If required, a three-dimensional double-skinned fabric can be applied at this stage to form a gap or interstice. This is used as a leak detection system by monitoring the interstice either by vacuum, pressure or hydrostatically using a water glycol mix. Here, this mix can be seen gradually filling the interstice. Next, and using some more resin, comes the delicate task of adding a fiberglass tissue layer, which gives a much smoother finish. Finally, a smooth top coat is applied, and the job is done.